Well, that's a very good question. And what I would tell you is the true discussion that we should be having isn't what education should we have to propel us to the future. The true question should become, what is the future that we want? And once we know the future that we want, we can start adapting our education systems to that future. Now, of course, what does this imply? It implies, principally, I think, having education systems that are contextualized, that respond to our continental priorities, intercontinental priorities, continental priorities, national priorities, but also local realities. We need an education system across the world that recognizes the diversity of our cultures, the importance of our cultures, the way our cultures have contributed to our shared human civilization. What we must also be capable, I think, of achieving if we want to be propelled to the future, or more accurately, if we want to create the future that is best adapted to our aspirations and our hopes and our dreams, is also to have an education where the students are protagonists, where the students participate, where the students have a voice, where they're co-creators of their education. Because when students are co-creators of their education, they become co-creators of their country, and they become co-creators of the world. So I think these are the principal points that we need to look at when we look at education systems. But I would go further. I think one part that is particularly important, and even though it is uncomfortable to discuss it, and that is the international dynamics in education, particularly when we touch upon the issue of financing. It is costly to reform an education system, to overhaul an education system. And of course, needless to say, any country, not merely in Africa, needs to secure financing for such reforms. But we must be capable of articulating mechanisms, financial instruments that serve our hopes and our priorities, and do not bend to priorities and criteria that are not adapted to our countries. Of course, you also, I think, have to enter into another discussion when we speak about how do we ensure that education serves the continent for the future, and that is what has been happening today, and that is joint solidarity for education.